So, I guess this has been talked about before, and looks like, yeah, it's officially confirmed that it looks like we're getting a Batman solo film, and it will be written and directed, apparently, by Ben Affleck. So, look, as much as, Dawn of Justice was not a great film, it was terrible, let's be honest here. You gotta admit that, you could still see potential in Ben Affleck's Batman, because the dude did try. However, now that he has his own chance to write and direct his own Batman film, I think I can see there's a lot of potential here to see and do something really cool. Obviously, Ben Affleck, amazing director, amazing actor. I've pretty much loved everything he's put out, from Argo, Gone Baby Gone, and the other films he's written and directed before in the past. So, I think it's really cool that he's taken an interest in doing a Batman film. The big question is, where does this fall in continuity? I mean, this is going to be a standalone Batman film, and it probably will be in the DC, this new DC cinematic universe. But the thing is that with this film, is that we're going to follow. We're going to be following just Batman. I don't think this will follow, especially after the numbers, Dawn of Justice had. I think they're just going to, hopefully, I'm really hoping, Warner Brothers and DC is like, look, Ben, we're just going to let you play this out, but at least have some mentions to our continuity here and there. That's all we ask, please. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for, is that, this can be on its own thing, but you can see it can still follow some of the rules of the DC Cinematic Universe. However, I am hoping that, Ben Affleck reinstates Batman Doesn't Kill. The other thing is that I'm kind of wondering where in the timeline is this going to be. So, I'm betting it's going to be, it's not going to be a past Batman story. It's going to be, Batman as he is, in Batman, currently. So I'm kind of worried if we're going to have the Batman Kills thing in here. I'm hoping, Ben Affleck's like, yeah, I wasn't a fan of the Batman Kills people thing, so Batman's going to go back to not killing, and we're just not going to talk about that. I'd be actually kind of okay with him at least going, I was I was way too aggressive when I came back, I need to go back to my roots. Something like that. Just at least, I feel like Ben Affleck would do something like that. Now, the big question is what do you do story-wise for a new Batman story? Me, personally, can we have a story focused on Arkham Asylum, please? We've never had that. No, we haven't. We've seen Arkham Asylum. We've been there, but it's never been a centric story. It's always been some villain trying to cause chaos and all that, and that's been kind of the big thing. Now, would I like another mob story? Sure, but personally, if I could have any say in, what I'd like to see in the next Batman film, I would like a straight-up Arkham Asylum film focused on Arkham, and I feel like that would be a cool place to go, because you've done, crime noir stuff, and I feel like Ben Affleck can really get into somebody's head. I've seen, some of his past films, and he really gets into the mind of these characters. So if you really want to talk about somewhere where you can really delve into someone's psychological traumas as well as their own, personal demons, I feel like, the best place to go in those kind of stories is Arkham. I'm not saying do a direct adaptation of Serious House on a Serious Earth. I'm not talking about, doing an adaptation of the Grant Morrison story, but I would like to see, Batman going to Arkham Asylum and that being the major point, because here's the thing, it's just like with Spider-Man, where you could the idea of doing multiple villains, you can do it as long as you do it right. And I feel like, again, you can bring in so many villains if you can do it in Arkham Asylum. Again, you could have Killer Croc, you could have Ventriloquist, you could have I already said that. You could have Mad Hatter, you could have the Joker, Harley Quinn, all of those in one setting. They don't all, and you don't even have to set them up. You don't even have to give them an origin story. You can just have them already there, locked up, and they've taken over the asylum, and now they're calling for, hey, Batman, come get us. So that's what I kind of would like to see is, again, it could easily be a mob story, and hopefully we can get some cool star power. I mean, obviously with Ben Affleck writing and directing this film, I feel like I also think he's co-writing this with Jeff Johns. At last I heard, he was co-writing this film with Jeff Johns, and look, as much as I love Jeff Johns as a writer, he's obviously done the legendary Green Lantern run, and he's made other great runs throughout DC and some at Marvel. But, you know, unfortunately, I just don't think he's the best Batman writer. Every time I read him whenever Batman showed up in a Green Lantern story, it was always, you know, Batman has to bring up what Hal Jordan did as Parallax when he was possessed by Parallax, and it just never went away. And I've read Batman Earth 1 Volumes 1 and 2, wasn't a fan. If you like it, if anyone out there who enjoyed Batman Earth 1 Volumes 1 and 2, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. They just weren't personally for me. So, I don't know, but I don't know how much of Jeff Johns' input did he have in the script writing, and how much that went to the final piece of that work. Now, it's kind of funny, and I'll bring this up now because I've always wanted to kind of talk about this. I've always I would like to see the Penguin be a villain again. I would like to see the Penguin also be a central villain. If we don't do anything with Arkham, do something with the Penguin. Like, do some cool, like, hard-hitting, something like that. Or Black Mask. Black Mask would also be really cool. But I would like to see, if we're going to get Penguin again, I've always had a special fan cast for him, even though I suck at fan casting. I've always had this one guy in my head that would always make such a great Penguin. And that would be Peter Dinklage. I think he would be so good. And I'm not saying, oh, you're just picking him because he's short. No, it's not like that. He's actually he's incredibly intimidating. He can carry off that kind of aura, that kind of superiority, as well as I don't need to punch you physically to hurt you kind of mentality behind him when you're playing that character. With Oswald Cobblepot, because Penguin's always been like, you see, I can just hurt you with, I can find something about you and hurt you. Perfect example of this is Penguin, Pain and Prejudice. If you haven't read that comic, goddammit, go read that comic now, because that's like the Penguin. That is an awesome Penguin story. But yeah, I think Peter Dinklage could really capture that kind of power and kind of malicious nature that Penguin has. So again, I've never been the best pick for fan casting, but I've always kind of thought that Peter Dinklage would make an awesome Penguin. But yeah, if I had to choose between Mob Story, Arkham Asylum, I'd go with Arkham Asylum. That way, you can really delve into some real psychological, psychological thriller with Batman. At the same time, you can bring in multiple villains and do something just a little more, I feel like this would be an R-rated Batman film if we went the Arkham route. But yeah, I'm not saying that just because, we can get all these villains all in one. No, it's more like I would like to see Batman really push to his mental brink with the help of all these villains, just kind of like pushing him over the edge, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I am looking forward to this, even though Batman Dawn of Justice, sucked balls. I mean, again, if anyone out there who liked Dawn of Justice, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. I just didn't like it. I just did not care for it. And I'm actually looking forward to this Batman standalone film because, I haven't watched a bad Ben Affleck film, and I think he could really do something cool with this character. And I still think it's really cool that Ben Affleck, star actor and star director, is doing a comic book movie. I think that's really cool. But anyway, so you guys tell me, what do you guys think of the idea of another standalone Batman film, but this time helmed by Ben Affleck? Are you guys okay with the idea? Do you guys like it? And what do you want to see the story? Do you want to see another mob story? Do you want to see an Arkham Asylum story? Or do you want to see another, one-and-done villain type story? But anyway, so really interested. And who do you want in this? I mean, obviously, I think we're going to get J.K. Simmons, assuming they don't kill him off in Justice League like they did with Jimmy Olsen. Hoping they don't. So, anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.